Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me first appreciate management of New Globe and ICESCO for inviting me to share my experience with our members. Listening to Dr. Ahmed and some of the presentations earlier, I just realized that it would be better to spend time sharing experiences with you than making a formal presentation. But since I have slides, let me quickly run through the slides so that we can spend 10 or so minutes of the time allotted to taking questions so that we can share ideas. I had the fortune of being governor of Edo State. Edo State is one of 36 states in Nigeria from 2016 to 2024. It has about 5 million people, and I think it's best known for its bronze works which were stolen by the British in 1897. This presentation, I'm essentially share our experience as a sub-national. Most of you here are running national education programs, but I believe that there's some learnings, some cross-cutting learnings. Let's just move the slides as fast as. Why is this important? What's the imperative? Why is it important for ICESCO? Please just keep on with the slides, don't worry. First, if you look at the world today, ICESCO states are growing their populations also rapidly. It is estimated that ICESCO countries alone are going to produce another 2 billion people in the next generation. Right? That means that we're going to account for the largest workforce on earth in another 30 years. And the issue is, how are we preparing our children, this generation, to lead the workforce of the future? So I think we should look at this issue of foundational learning from that perspective. Now, whether we like it or not, from the trends we've seen in terms of population growth, if people are just being born, they're coming on that. So what do we do? If we are going to be the largest workforce, produce the largest workforce, how are we prepared to play that role in the world? So for us, in Edo State, what happened was a call to action for me when I became governor was a meeting I had with the International Office on Migration, where the officer came and said, Mr. Governor, do you realize that there are about 30,000 boys and girls from your state in Libya trying to cross over to Europe? And what hit me was, if you had 30,000 boys and girls in Libya, can you imagine how many would have died just trying to cross the Sahara? So for me, that was a call to action. And then we went into this program arrangement with the federal government and Ireland to begin repatriating a lot of them. As we repatriated them back home, we started collecting data. At about 5,000-6,000 as we brought them back, we rehabilitated them, settled them, and began to get data on the root causes for this kids taking this very dangerous drugs. And what came out clearly was the breakdown of the education system. In Nigeria, Edo State is one of the states with the lowest out-of-school numbers. So it was not an issue of access. It was an issue of quality. So a lot of these kids finish school and, it's like they didn't go to school because they are not able to get jobs, they're not even properly trained. So for me, that became the clarion call, that what should we do about this crisis? We had to focus on foundational learning. Because if your foundation is not there, you can't build anything on it. You can't talk about greening education, you can't talk about AI, you can't talk about anything learning except you have the foundation right. Basic literacy skills, basic numeracy skills. That is what I guess Dr. Meyer pointed out and we've been talking about so far. But I guess I want to go back to the point Dr. Ahmed made. There's nothing we're saying in this room that's new. We've talked about these issues about education, learning for years. The issue is, why have we not been able to make much progress? Then how do we move from rhetoric to action? And in our experience as a state, there are a few things we did. First, it's about political leadership. The person in charge has to make it a priority. It has to be a priority. You see, as a politician, you come into office with so many promises. You're going to build roads, you're going to do all sorts. But there must be one thing that stands out more than anything else. And you decide. For us, we decided it was going to be education. Why? Because that we found, our people are the largest assets we have. So if you don't invest in them, you're not likely to get social returns into the future. The other thing we realized is that things were so bad that you could not continue to just lament. You had to do something fast and radical.